Jesus decided to troll in a very provocative part of the world where he had the Romans and the Jews. And so basically, the metaphor is he opened his mouth, and that's how that fish got on that wall there. They crucified him because he trolled the government and he trolled the religious establishment, declared he was God, the ultimate taboo. They crucified him. I mean, this is what everybody already knows. I'm not saying anything new. I'm just rehashing to you what the 1960s and the 70s of America and the world produced in terms of their relationship with Christ Jesus. So I mean, he was a mystic. He was a
So,
mystic troll, and he got he got murdered for it. But to say
so
that he was,
do you think
yeah,
do you think he interacted with a deity at some point, or do you think he was just someone who really understood like Buddhism and Hinduism?
he understood natural science and magic. He was definitely a Kabbalist, and John, who wrote Revelation and the books, the second book of John, all that. That's all. It's even the Lord's Prayer: Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That beginning part of the Lord's Prayer is a Gnostic, invocation. You're trying to create a unity with, the divine or heaven or, nirvana or a utopian, mindset. So it's to me, it's all a linguistic dialectic meditation for peace and silence and stillness for you personally. Like
I
that's
couldn't
the
agree
whole thing.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you're not a Christian, John. Respectfully, brother.
No, I am a Christian. I got baptized in the YMCA by a black
Yeah,
preacher.
but you're a cultural Christian. You don't actually believe that there's this agent God that exists separate from the universe and that he created the universe in Genesis and stuff like that.
No, I can play that game and I can play it successfully. And I'm more than happy to play it with people that want to play it, because they think
What
it's a far out
what does
game.
play that game mean?
Meaning that culturally, socially, politically, I can play that game. I'm more than happy to say that Christ is King, Savior of mankind, ruler of the universe, creator of the universe, the source of joy, the source of love. I got no problem preaching Jesus.
But do you believe that? Like literally?
Yeah, because it's essentially it's the same. It's Christ is the Buddha. Christ is the Tao. Christ is
Yeah.
King.
Okay, I know you.
You know.
I know it, dude. John, people like you are so fascinating, man? Like, why are you doing this with language? Like I know I have met so many people like you. Like,
I'm not original. I'm actually a self-actualization comedian and I'm doing this semi-professionally, but I'm actually just impersonating Alan Watts, if you know who he is.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of my favorite authors. You're not doing it the best because he definitely doesn't say the Jesus shit that you do. But
Well, he talks about Jesus. He talks about Jesus quite a bit, but he doesn't. He's not. He's not submitting to Jesus. I mean, he was an alcoholic, multiple wives.
Okay, Andrew, Andrew, you would be an amazing American politician, bro. You're a little jokester, Andrew. You take one of the best philosophers of all time, and you think it's important to call out he was an academic.
No. He's got
Or
some,
an
he had some
alcoholic.
serious moral failings, and he was trying to enlighten people, but his personal life was tragic. If you tracked what happened with him, man, it was bad, bro. Listen, Alan Watts says
what were
some
the
interesting.
serious moral failings?
He says some. I don't want to. I'm not like trying to like. He's dead and whatnot and whatever. And people like him, and I get it. But I don't look at somebody like that as being like the beacon of hope. Obviously, he's diverting people away from the truth in Christ. He would mention Christ. He'd bring Christ into his musings, but he would never. There was never a submission there. It was always there was some derivative, he would derive something from the narrative, but it would never be what Christianity was really about.
I mean, but there's no really arguing his philosophy. He's like agnostic and says like the concept of
Okay, I'm
ego
gonna restart
is
this live
something
stream.
that's made up in the
Click my
West.
profile
Quite
and go
literally
back to the
just
new live.
correct.
Yeah, I hate the ego talk. I think it's stupid. I think
it's quite literally correct. We are a society that has created identity, put identity in our language, and then now you think Andrew is a thing. Andrew is not
hold on. Ego is just weird because people are like, oh yeah, we're at war with the ego and talking about the id and all this different stuff. These aren't terms that I think are situated very well in like an analytic Western 2025 modern mindset. It's just kind of a weird way to speak, and I think we should terms that have a little more clarity. But as far as identity goes, yeah, you are not me, Ray. We're different, brother.
No, I am you, dude.
No, you quite literally are not.
No, Andrew. And oh man, I wish I could have this conversation. I need to.
Hey, Andrew.
Of course, quite.
Go fuck yourself.
You too, Tay. Good to have you.
No, I'm joking.
Hey, Tay. The thing is, you're gay, and that's why you say things like "go fuck yourself" to Andrew because you want to screw him all day.
Ray, shut the fuck up. Are you rapping or what?
Yeah, that was rap. Yeah. My bad. Andrew,
Ray,
when you say you're not,
brother.
Does God exist? Short answer,
hold on,
yes.
Tay, hold on real quick. Ray, when you're done fornicating and doing whatever you're gonna do, can you come back?
I can. Okay, yeah, I for like 10, 15 minutes, but then I need to sleep for work. But Andrew, when you say you are not me.
Yeah, I'm not you. There's a division between you and I. That's why you don't share my thoughts. There's identification.
Okay, so you want to abstract that level. Let's abstract at a different level. Are you made up of nitrogen, carbon, oxygen?
Yeah,
okay, you are. Okay, so let's take the summation of those particles. Are the summation of those particles different than the summation of the particles like right next to you? Like, is the oxygen in your body a fundamentally different thing than the oxygen in the air right next to you?
No, that's fine. I mean,
it's not. So then you and I are the same thing.
No, I don't agree with that, brother. Because the problem is you don't believe in any immaterial existence. You don't think there's anything immaterial, and I don't think consciousness and qualia or phenomenology, all this whatever. I don't think that first person experience. I don't think you can that just is the equivalent of physical matter, and I don't think it just emerges when it's put in a certain
because Andrew that is what you have to believe.
No, it's not even that. No, brother. It is so extremely counterintuitive. I think you would have to be really stretching yourself to try to make sense of the fact that you have consciousness from physical matter arranged in a certain pattern.
So digestion happens, and that's physical.
Digestion is just a process.
And anything cardiological happens, and that's
processes interact.
Anything in my central nervous system happens. Yeah. Well, I guess the brain includes the central nervous, but anything in my respiratory system happens, and that physical. But once we talk about the central nervous system and we talk about the functions of the brain, that's non-physical.
Really? Yeah, intentionality and thoughts and planning and memory, all of that, and in your experience of it, and you're able to.
Andrew, you realize that's no different than saying the roots, they're physical. The bark, it's physical.
Yeah,
all
that's
water
physical.
in the tree.
Yeah, we agree that's physical. That's why you can say that to me.
The leaves, the thing on the top, the thing that I really like to look at, that's not physical. Like, bro,
what are you talking about? The thing on the top? No. That's not like that.
But look at the quality of the green.
No, to say
look at the shape of the leaf.
Yeah,
you're just calling out random things in the brain.
You think you think that the consciousness is an emergent property of physical property, and you think it's physical? It's all just physical. Everything is physical.
Yes, Andrew, but you know what I actually believe? I believe that it's so related, and I actually think, Andrew, that Christianity is going to go away for this reason. I'm not kidding. It's so fundamentally related, specifically consciousness and Homo sapiens, and probably consciousness in other animals like smart animals.
It is going to go away.
It's so related to quantum physics, and we have not updated any language, the English language, to talk about quantum physics. We don't understand how to talk about quantum physics, and when we do eventually update and augment our language, then we will understand how consciousness arose. And it's not going to be like a simple it's just a product of physical systems. It's more complex than that. We're going to develop more complex language to talk about it, and then you won't need to have any musings about Christianity anymore.
You're not going to hear about none of this confusion and all of this fiction.
Well,
Rich,
coming from what are you, a pantheist now?
It's going to be... Give me a second, Andrew. Why do you have to cut me off when I'm speaking, brother?
You're
Give me a second?
Right? Well,
you don't have to cut me off when I'm speaking. Brother, show love. Show love. I don't know why you're laughing.
Shalom, because you're a pantheist.
I
and
said
you're
show
talking about all
love.
of this going
I said
away.
show love.
Oh, shalom and show love.
I didn't say shalom. I said
Well, you
show
should say shalom.
love.
You should say shalom.
No, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you should. It's just peace. No, you should say it, is what I'm saying. It's
Why?
good. Because it's peace.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, I know you may not want
But like I said before, everything I said is coming, Andrew. When I kept telling you when is this gonna end, is it gonna come to one common ground? You don't feel it in the air. This is all over Christianity, confusion, Muslim.
you're no longer
God didn't design this. God, why would a God, like tell me now, why would a God create a world when there's division, confusion, friction? That sounds like man to me. Why would God want you to fear him instead of love him, Andrew? Make that make sense.
I wanted to fear him instead of love him.
Yes, does God sound like light, or does he sound like darkness?
Yeah,
Darkness to me sounds like the devil, Andrew. That's
Well, you're saying
negativity.
a lot of things. You're
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let's see what you have to say.
what they call a gish gallop. So look, saying fear him. I mean, fear isn't the way we're talking like cower or be afraid of. That's not. I mean, you should definitely respect and revere who God is. That's true. But it is not like some kind of fear where you're cowering in the corner.
Is that my N-word jigsaw?
Well, I mean, that's one way to put it. Yes, it is. But here's the thing, John. He's actually shifted from I'm the observer. I don't have a position. Now I'm a pantheist, and Christianity's going to go away.
I don't know what you mean a pantheist. I'm consciousness.
No.
Self-aware.
No.
I'm consciousness. I'm self-aware, brother. That's all I am. Christ consciousness. You have an ego to keep cutting me off. That is your ego. You have to let go over your ego. You keep trying to cut me off. Let me finish. Your ego is speaking. Your emotion.
Don't be dishonest. You said you're
Your emotion is speaking. I can feel it in your heart. Why do you keep cutting me off?
Victor, are you a pantheist? Yes or no?
You're getting angry.
You're getting mad. Are you a
Good,
pantheist
my
or a
nigga.
pantheist?
I just told you what I am. I'm
You said
consciousness.
this in the other room. Hold on. You said it in the other room.
What do you keep telling me? Hold on. I just told you what I was.
Because you're saying something.
Well, this created 22 trillion funded taxes.
Because I
You
see
found a
come out of
good
your mouth.
bill.
You obviously think something other is true.
It's the case that you have taken, because I
He's
think
running
you've
over
taken a
20
position
billion
now.
I don't want to speak to you because you're speaking out of anger.
All right, that's fine. So when you're ready to be honest, we can engage.
I'm being honest.
No, you're not. You claimed that you were a pantheist or a panentheist. Now you're denying.
I just told you what I am. Why are you speaking about something else? You obviously saying somebody can't change from what they was before to something now?
Yeah, I'm big on.
It's a yes or no question. Are you obviously saying somebody can't change from what they was from before to now?
Rich, it's been like 1 week. I'm sorry.
It's a yes or no question.
It's been 1 week. Yeah, people can change, but not 1
So
week.
thank you. So obviously you have to accept what I am. Unconditional love, peace, and harmony. Are you getting angry, Andrew, because you think I'm lying?
Based on your
Are you getting angry?
Based on your
You're speaking through your ego.
You're more likely disingenuous than
Now I'm being disingenuous because I'm being
You
honest.
just said, can't somebody change their view? You just claimed you're a pantheist. Now you're saying, oh, I'm not that. I mean, if you do it within the measure of 1 week, I think you're probably disingenuous. Given your background, you're probably disingenuous. So that's where I'm at. Sorry, bud.
Well, you moved him down, Andrew?
I didn't move him down. I think
that's not right.
I didn't. That's the sniper of all snipers.
Bro, he was cooking you. I haven't seen you get cooked. You got sauteed.
There's no cooking at all. I just pointed out that he's a liar. That should mean something.
So, I mean, obviously the Western analytical term, Andrew, is that he's effectively a physicalist, and he says if the universe is just all matter, then the universe is talking about itself in the form of humans like today.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think pantheism is garbage. Let's be clear, Ray. But
that's not really pantheism.
No. I know, but listen. He claimed to be a pantheist. Maybe he just doesn't know what the terms are, and he's learned since then. That's why he's changing it. But he needs to be transparent about it. He shouldn't.
I mean, he obviously had.
What's that?
Was a total agnostic physical.
Ladies and gentlemen, this
The
is
universe is
Congressman John Kitover.
Well, no, and he also said Christianity is going to go away, and how could God exist if all the bad stuff's happened? So I don't think it's just that
I think he is actually slanted towards atheism. When I first met him, he was taking shots at the Bible. So I don't. He's either anti-Christian and maybe atheistic towards Christianity, or just broadly. It's kind of hard to really say because he doesn't really allow his views to be scrutinized too heavily. And then when you ask him questions, he'll be like, I don't answer subjective questions. Really weird response, but he says that a lot. So that being said, we can let all that be. But Ray, you don't agree that there is a division between us?
Andrew, your inability to understand this point I've made to you.
No, I understood the point. I understood the elements and the matter that makes up people and makes up our brains and makes up all of the things that we consume and our process of taking on sustenance and excreting, etc. I get all of the similarities. I'm talking about the market differences. That's what I'm talking about.
So Andrew, if I buy a new, which I will be doing soon, if I buy a new Ferrari 458 Spider from the dealership, and as I'm driving it out of the dealership, I slightly scratch my car, and one atom of the paint falls off. Is that atom on the ground a different car than my car? Is it a car?
It's not even a car.
It's not a car.
No.
Okay, so is one atom in your skin of your thumb right now that falls off of you? Is that Andrew?
It's part of it. It is a piece of me. It's a piece
of you.
Yeah.
Is the atom Andrew?
Is the atom what?
Is the singular atom identical to Andrew?
No.
Is the summation of all the atoms identical to Andrew?
Well, I don't think that's why I don't think it's just physical. So no, I don't agree.
So the only way out of this is to say there's something else.
Well, first of all,
you can't point at something.
First of all, though, Ray, we could just take the collection of atoms, even if I was kind of physical. I could say, look, my collection of atoms is different than your collection of atoms.
Yeah, well, then you run into some big problems, Andrew boy.
How's that a big problem?
Because what do you mean by different? Just located in a different part of space-time?
Hold on. Identity seems to be very basic, and I can't imagine you trying to challenge that. You look at something and you say, this is not this, right? This is not that. That is different than that. You can tell, you can distinguish. There's distinctions. There is distinctions. And for you to say that there is not distinctions, I think you're being very dishonest. You live as though there's distinctions. You operate every day as though there's distinctions. When you talk to me, you call me Andrew, not Converse. Why? Because we're distinct. We're distinguished from one another.
Right. But what I'm trying to establish to you is that the level at which you distinguish is subjective and abstract. And we distinguish not because things are actually different, but because things are functionally different.
Well, says you. I'm saying just go along with what I don't understand, Ray. This is what I never understood. Why would somebody, unless they're extremely motivated, why would somebody experience difference? Okay, experience it. Experience free will. Okay, I can make a choice between Pepsi and Coke. Experience morality. When I ponder about driving a car into a group of 20 people, just so I can get a better parking spot, okay? When I ponder that, it hits me as though, you know what? That I ought not do that. And if I think about somebody doing that, I'm like, if they did that, I don't think I want to be around that person because they sound like what they sound like what I might want to call a bad person. Now, hold on. I don't understand, since that is like a pretty ubiquitous experience for people, why on earth have you come to these conclusions that all of those things aren't actually the case? It's very strange.
No. Well, okay, this is a great question, Andrew. It's not that they aren't the case. It's just, as I always say, the language you use to describe it. So if you zoom out,
if you zoom out and you look at a Homo sapien tribe of what a part of what you are, you're just a part of a very large Homo sapien tribe, your state or your country or whatever. If you look at a Homo sapien tribe, you will notice that they have instinctual behavior, like avoiding the Homo sapiens that drive their car into 20 other Homo sapiens. That is an instinct of yours. Like, it's not something that got socialized into you. Some people argue that, and then that gets confusing and whatever. But let's just assume right now, for the sake of argument, that it is an instinct of yours to avoid those other Homo sapiens. The fact that you're doing that, the fact that other people, other Homo sapiens around you, on average, tend to do that, and then you have the weird outliers who actually want to drive their car into 20 people, but for the most part, you have people that avoid violence and don't commit violence themselves. All of that stuff is just in your DNA. So why wouldn't someone observing this Homo sapien tribe say, oh, that's all just monkey business? This is the same thing. Why would he distinguish, oh, look at how monkey A does X. Look at how monkey B does Y. He would have to have a functional reason to distinguish. When you look at an anthill and you look at the creation of an anthill by 1,000 ants, do you really spend the time, Andrew, to think about each ant and the role it's playing in building that anthill? Or do you kind of label the whole thing as a monolith and say, oh, this is a set of ants building an anthill? You are just a part of a set of Homo sapiens building a Homo sapien society. So it only sometimes makes sense to look at Andrew as an individual. But what you actually are is a part of a Homo sapien tribe.
Yeah, being part of a Homo sapien tribe doesn't negate anything I said. Look, you could be part of a group. We distinguish ourselves from monkeys. I'm not a monkey.
Okay, but
I'm not a monkey.
Here's the brilliant part. Homo sapien tribe is just a part of the mammal tribe, and the mammal tribe is just a part of the animal kingdom tribe.
Yeah, that's a kingdom. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
So
I can accept those labels.
If you zoom out entirely,
Sure.
it's the entire universe.
Yeah, but you aren't going to be able to smooth over the bumps of distinction. You aren't going to be able to. And the problem is that that's exactly what this whole endeavor is about. It's about, well, you're just an animal, and you have free will, and it's just an illusion. This is just everything, matter and motion. And distinction. I mean, we're really no different than a slug, and no different than the asphalt and the stars. We're made of stardust. I mean, it's just all just matter. And this idea that something feels wrong to you, it's just a preference. It's like, I want to eat this. Ooh, I want to eat that. Ooh, I don't like that because he hurt me. Ooh, ah. No, it's much deeper than that. There's a lot more going on there. And it's more than just this is not just some prudential conviction. There is a deep conviction that has more depth. There's more authority behind it. There's something that's like, no.
At what point in your life did you decide you didn't want to kill people?
There was never a decision. I've been built in with a beacon that the scripture speaks very clearly of, and it says that God wrote his law on our hearts. That means that we, for at least a lot of the moral laws, we already have this built-in beacon to say don't do it. But let me just say this: I have wanted to kill people, and my whole desire to do that was something that was being judged by a conviction that was not internal to me. It was not something that I didn't have authority over the conviction. The conviction had authority over me. It stood in judgment of me.
Andrew, I will not sit here and be intellectually disrespected, Andrew. You're
a beautiful man, Ray.
You're more beautiful. Look at your jawline. You're more beautiful.
Well, it is pretty good, but you are pretty beautiful. And you better give me a picture of that spider, by the way, when you get it. Send me a picture. Will you send me a picture? Will you send me a picture?
Andrew, give me 1 second.
I just want to know, will you send me a picture of the spider when you drive it off the lot?
I can't afford a 4.58 spider.
I thought you were actually going to buy it. You're a wealthy man. Okay,
I'm a 27-year-old, Andrew.
Yeah, but you're a Jew, so I thought you had the money, but go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. Let me finish this set.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you mute me, please?
Oh, yes, I can. Be glad to. Ray, I've always wanted you to ask me that. You've been muted. MJ, are you there, sir?
Yo. Going on?
Have you met Uncle Ray?
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Ray says that...
Ray thinks I'm a Looney Tune.
He says that Yahweh... he says Yahweh was created... he says Yahweh and the Israelites were created by the Canaanites. How do you like that? That's his kill shot.
Yeah, so Andrew, how are you going to sit
The
down with
concept?
me, an Ivy League educated individual? I'm going to say something like you have instinctual behavior because of your genetics, and you're going to respond to me, no, I have core behaviors because of the beacon of Christ. You are overlaying Christian poetry on top of already established biology and evolutionary science. I do not want to hear that human behavior is not because of DNA and genetics. Don't tell me it's because of the beacon of Christ you are writing poetry.
I didn't say anything about writing poetry, but are you telling me that the whole field of moral philosophy is useless and it isn't striving to determine, hey, what the heck is going on here? Because obviously
Where's the
there's
moral philosophy for the whales, for the crows, for the orangutans, for the baboons? Andrew, finally, because you're laughing, you're starting to I love you because you're laughing.
I love you, brother. What do you mean the moral philosophy of the whales? You mean moral philosophy that the whales engage in, or moral philosophy we do about the whales?
Because they engage in.
Who knows if they have any kind of perception of morality?
They don't do it. Because
How do you and you know this how? And you know this how?
Well, they don't do it in the same way that Homo sapiens
Okay,
do.
okay. Well, I mean, I probably grant that, but I mean, you're not in the mind of a whale, okay? So I don't think you know what's going on. But we can try to infer things based on things we can observe and try to test things and do this, that, and the other. But
Andrew, do you
Go ahead.
have to retract your hand from a fire because God encoded that in humans, or because it's a part of the Homo sapiens genetics?
I mean, I think God made us such that God made us such that we know to do that if we want to preserve. If our bodies are made and our minds are geared towards God and geared towards having a relationship with Him, things that are preserving of self is probably good for God to build into us. It's not good if we didn't care about living and surviving and reproducing. If we had no instinctual desire to do that, then I think it would be a kind of a crapshoot as to what happens if He just creates these beings that don't have those drives and don't have this like control mechanism or these rails to prevent you from just destroying yourself or being self-destructive. Just as much as you might be propagating. If those were like equal drives, that would be a huge problem as far as, achieving an end of having a relationship with beings He wants to freely choose to love Him. So yeah, I do think God embedded that into us. So I don't agree with the way you're like characterizing. You're a hyper physicalist, Ray. I mean, you are like hardcore. Everything is physical. There's like nothing. There is no immaterial existence at all.
But dude, it's like, I'm sorry, it's not even a debate, man. Like, because I can literally just repeatedly show you my worldview is correct. We can gene edit a child and give him a very horrible congenital disorder, and he will always die. And then you can't say, oh, God made this child.
He will always die. How can you make that question?
Dude, you can give a kid.
How can you make that claim without? Hold on. Sorry. How can you make that claim without? Like,
because
how
we
do you know?
have clinical studies showing the death rate of like a congenital heart. There's specific genital heart.
You would just say historically it's been the case, and even then you wouldn't know that,
Okay, so Andrew, if you had a kid, like it's a morbid situation, but if you had a kid where a hospital had said, oh, last time we observed the heart look like this and be put like that. There's a thing that can happen in the atrium valve. Last time we saw this genetic disorder that affects the atrium valve. In 980 kids, we saw 970 of them die. Would you believe that your kid is going to be one of the 10?
It'd be hard. It would be hard.
Correct. So if human society goes off of these probabilities, and let's say we continue to, as China is, because they're the bravest nation in the world, as we continue to understand gene editing technology, what happens to our narrative of God wanted this to happen to this baby when we can control the outcomes? Doesn't it heavily suggest that what's happening is because of genetics?
Because you're trying to say just because we can alter the outcomes of things that God didn't anticipate that and plan for it. I mean, that's just crazy.
So now,
But
Andrew, you see what we're doing with language.
No, I see what you're doing. I see what. No. I didn't do just some ad hoc rescue there. That's what Christians have believed historically. God knows all things, my friend. God knows all things. If
humans are deciding if the baby dies or not, but then you're saying no.
Look. Hold on. Yeah, Ray, let me just demonstrate that to you. When two humans decide to procreate, right? okay? And hopefully they do it the right way, right? Some biblical standard. If they do it though, whether they do it within God's system or not, if they choose to do that, a baby is born, right? If they get pregnant and have the baby, right? Okay, well, do you think God didn't know that was going to happen from our perspective? Of course we believe God knows that's going to happen. Jesus was prophesied. Obviously, there's all kinds of stuff that is God working with human decisions. He knew that Mary would agree to bear the child, the Christ child. So obviously, there's all kinds of free will that is used
Andrew,
by God.
There's a social contract around language that you're not following. Sometimes it bothers me. I'm in a good mood tonight, so it's not bothering me. But if we say something like, oh, I have a baseball and I'm going to drop it onto the ground. Speaking in English, we're going to say something like, oh, the baseball is going to fall to the ground at the speed of gravity on planet Earth, and it's going to go through the air resistance, that normal oxygen on Earth or whatever else the air nitrogen is made out of, and the ball is going to hit the ground. If someone then wants to include, oh, and God makes sure it hits the ground, or God originally plans for it to hit the ground, most people agree you don't need to say that. That's not a part of the knowledge we have about dropping a baseball onto the ground. You don't need to include most God in that narrative.
Wow. You may not need to say that. Hold on, Rich, real quick. See, most people may not need to say that, Ray, but most people believe in God, and if you took away God, you wouldn't have the matter to even look at to do that. So
why do I need God to talk about a baseball?
I didn't say that you need a God to talk about it. I'm saying it's implicit in their God belief that God is the foundation of all of these things. So it wouldn't be the case that you could even talk about this observation without God. So whether they claim it or not, it's built into their understanding. So when you say most people don't have the desire or don't even see the need to say, well, God's the one that made gravity operate as it does. No, it's just implicit. They don't need to say that. So of course, if God is a necessary being, which we believe he is, then it is the case that he exists in this world and in fact in all possible worlds, and he would be the foundation of these things even being possible. You wouldn't be able to make the observation of your gravity without God.
Where does it say?
Ray.
Where does it say that?
Where does it say what? That God is the ground of all things?
Where does
it says that God is
outside of you, outside of within you. And the scripture doesn't. Why are you so angry, bro?
The scripture. I'm not angry, bro.
Do you want to hear yourself?
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I just want to make. I'm not angry.
Anger, brother.
I'm not angry. But if you, I'm not screaming. Bro, if you want to see me scream, just go to Tom. If you want to see me scream, hold on, brother. If you want to see me scream, hold on. If you want to see me scream, go to YouTube and go to Tom Rabbit's channel.
Go anywhere.
Okay, you'll see me screaming. No. But you keep saying I'm screaming, and I just want you to get it right.
Telling me you're not tense.
Tense is different than screaming, and I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Hold on. I'm not even sure that I'm not even sure. No.
Can we have a conversation?
No.
Keep doing this.
We can have a yes or no. We can have a yes or no. Hold on. You're interrupting. You're interrupting my answers a lot, so it's just going to prolong it.
I'm not interrupting.
You're interrupting my answers. No, you are interrupting my answers. And so because you're interrupting my answers, it's going to prolong it. So here's the point.
Get your point off, please. Don't.
Hold on. You're cutting me off right now. The yes or no, I can answer that. But we're gonna do it sequentially. I'm trying to tell you that your claim of me screaming is not true, and I can show you a YouTube channel where I was screaming. Okay, this isn't me screaming. You're completely off. As far as me being tense, it's been a little bit of a up and down day. I'm mostly okay. I've enjoyed the conversation. I'm not upset. Not upset at Ray. Not upset at you. But you do need to quit doing this kind of rapid interjection every time I'm trying to respond to the stuff that you're saying. Let's have a sequential dialogue, not just jump around and say
stuff. Not your emotions.
I'm not on my emotions.
Yes, you are. You keep telling me about something that's not here, though.
No, that's not an emotion. So I don't know why you're saying
just get to the conversation.
But can you say something that's actually true?
Is the kingdom... It's okay. I understand why you feel like this.
No, but you got to say stuff that's true. Otherwise, you're wasting time.
You're in separation.
Here's the thing. You got to say something you actually think is true. Okay, cool. So you said where does the Bible say that? The Bible teaches that God is the creator of all things other than himself. Okay? So he creates everything. So everything in existence is created by God. Well, you know I'm done. Why do you ask if I'm done when I'm still talking? Why would you do that?
You're not the only one that gets to speak. I am.
Why? No. Did you hear what I just? Yeah. Technically, I could.
You're speaking.
No. Technically, I could be the only one that spoke if I wanted to be, but I'm not doing that. But you don't ask if I'm done while I'm still speaking. You're a disingenuous interlocutor. So don't do that. Nonetheless, go ahead, Rich. Say what it is. Oh, you're not even here anymore. Well, that's because you have a sniper taking care of you, taking care of business.
Who's doing that? Congress is legitimately just a racist, isn't it?
I mean, somebody.
Hey, Ray, you called 3 people the N-word last week. I've never seen that.
Right. So, I mean, some people might call them racist, but some people might just call them reasonable. I go with the latter.
So Andrew, I think I'm making actually a lot of progress with you tonight. So, so I agree, Andrew. Majority of people believe in God. It's actually complex. I've read a lot of anthropological papers on it. What majority of people believe really is that like there's something out there, and then we live in the societies today that globally got influenced by Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. So people just overlay that on top of that. That's what's actually happening. Like, dude, if you go to any Christian in the United States and
I do want to say something to that, Ray, but hold on. I have to. The store's getting ready to close. I have to say item. So I want MJ.
Andrew, may I speak to Ray?
What's up, Mr. Chris? Yes, you may speak to Ray.
Long time, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Ray, just to be careful, Ray is a Jew, Chris, but go ahead.
That's what's up. So Ray, in reference to your what you were saying about the like heart disease thing. So I actually happen to have a son who, while his mother was pregnant, was involved in a horrific car accident, which separated her placenta and caused her to go into early labor. He was born 1 pound, 13 ounces. The doctor looked me right in my face and said, "Do not expect this child to live." He turns 19 in February. I'd never for a second thought that just because of statistics that, oh, my child's not going to make it. I almost went to jail that night for trying to fight the doctor for him even saying that my child wasn't going to live. So I do believe that faith means a lot, because statistically, like, would you say, oh, well, 980 out of 980 died? Well, mine was 981. My 981 lived, and now he's going to be 19. So you don't, like, you shouldn't say things like that, because why is Chris a moron? And I would absolutely love to.
Sasha is one of these online incels. Don't listen to her.
Yeah, and then, like, Ray, this isn't a point of contention to say, like, you said anything wrong. This is strictly just something that happened in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, first of all, that's amazing. I'm extremely happy your son lived. Congrats. That's awesome. Do you believe it was because of God?
I don't believe that it wasn't because of God. Like, I'll say this. All of the, what we would call professionals, said that there was no chance. And then there was. And now he's 19. Well, he'll be 19 in February. Like, now he's grown. And mine, like I said, when I said, like, small, I'm talking about, like, the palm of my, like, 1 pound. Like, he was in the hospital for a year. So I don't believe that is anything but God. Because it damn sure wasn't the doctors, because the doctors told me to give up hope.
Yeah, Ray often tells people to give up hope.
You know, and again, like I said, Ray, this is not like to make like contention with you or anything. It's just something that happened for me. It's just something that happened for me, and I did a lot of praying. Like
I hear you, Chris. I guess what would you say to the parents who were less lucky and lost their kids to the same thing?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what I would say.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't say like, oh well. So the first thing that comes to my mind is people would be like, oh well, did God choose your kid over mine, type of thing. And I don't think that's like